Hailey Bieber's skincare brand Rhode just got snapped up for a cool $1 billion by e.l.f. Beauty. But here is a story the headlines missed. The Indian American dermatologist behind it all. Meet Dr Dhaval Bhanusali, dermatologist, entrepreneur, investor, and one of the early minds behind Rhode.
I do think there's an Indian boom coming in the beauty market, and my dream is to see an Indian company go out to the world as opposed to just coming into India. There are beautiful ingredients all over India that are emphasized daily that we don't really hear about in the States or in the Western world, and I think that is going to be a differentiator. And Hailey is incredible. She's very, 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 very involved. She is a visionary. The rest of the team, there's Lauren, the marketing team. I think they brought the world of Rhode alive. It wasn't just products, right? People can feel what the brand stood for. India's shifted so much in the last decade or so. It's really come a long way, and I'm hopeful that it's continuing to become a global powerhouse.
Hello and welcome to the show. There's a very interesting deal in the beauty market that took place in the US. It was worth $1 billion. So we all know Hailey Bieber and her brand Rhode that got sold to e.l.f. And we have with us the founding dermatologist who's an Indian American. Let's welcome on the show Dhaval Bhanusali. Dhaval, welcome to our show, and it's a pleasure speaking to you.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
And now you're making it big over there in the beauty market, but dermatologist by profession. Tell us more about this particular venture and what this deal really means for you.
I mean, it was incredible. It's very humbling, obviously. I've been working with the team for almost 5 years now. We launched I think Sunday was our 3-year anniversary. So it's still been a pretty quick, crazy ride. But it means a lot. I mean, they brought me on literally day one when it was just an idea, and to see that idea become, something so culturally relevant around the world has been incredible. And like I said, I'm just very grateful.
That's right. But, Rhode is not present in India, at least at the moment. I don't know what e.l.f. is going to do later. But Indian beauty market is also growing very fast. In fact, the online sales as well as the number of companies which are really coming up, that's really crazy. And it's very exciting space to be in. Have you really tracked your roots back in India? Have you really given thought to the Indian beauty market also?
Absolutely. I mean, look, I'm a doctor first. And so I used to give lectures around India to doctors everywhere about some of the techniques we do. I think there's a beautiful connect between Eastern and Western world. On the skincare side, it's evolving very quickly. And I think maybe because of social media, because of celebrity, I'm not really sure, but it's changed so much in the last few years. And I do think there's an Indian boom coming in the beauty market. And, my dream is to see an Indian company go out to the world as opposed to just coming into India. So, maybe one day, but I think it is coming soon.
So what are the few trends between US and India that you see and that are divergent? And how is India really growing as per your understanding as an investor, as a founder, dermatologist, and a specialist in this space?
I think what India is separating itself with is that they're really adding, the push in ingredients. We look at different things like amla and turmeric and things that have come out to the world. There are beautiful ingredients all over India that are emphasized daily that we don't really hear about in the States or in the Western world. And I think that is going to be a differentiator. And even cultural practices like hair oiling and things like that. People don't really understand it as well worldwide, but I think now as they see that there are benefits, these traditions are going to be taken up, all over the globe, and I couldn't be happier to see it.
That's right. In fact, science, technology, as well as innovation. That's the mixture that you brought to the table. Tell us more about the innovation that you did at Rhode, and what were you really aligned with, and now what will be your contribution after the this acquisition is done as well?
It's one of those things where we started day one. We looked at formula, ingredients. We're able to lead with science. I'm so thankful people take a chance on a product, but it's one thing to get it once, but then to repurchase it and to use it as part of the routine. That's the greatest honor as a formulator. And we've seen such an uptake where, I've traveled the world and seen people with their peptide lip treatments and their different products and their phone cases. And it's been incredible to see it. I think with the product formulation, there was no skimping, on the quality there. It was truly products that were efficacious, ingredients that we loved. And it was interesting seeing people talk about the ingredients on social media and Instagram, and kind of doing the breakdowns. And that was my favorite thing as a doctor and as a formulator, seeing people really look at the ingredients and figure out, why is this a good product? Why is this right for me? And it was so fun watching people with their before and afters and how we've helped them. We taught them about their skin barrier, caring for their skin, and it was just very humbling all around.
But in 3 years, $1 billion of valuation, that's pretty fast, isn't it? So what was it? Was it also the brand magic of Hailey Bieber which had its halo on this valuation?
I think for sure it's the entire team. Hailey is incredible. She's very, 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 very involved. She is a visionary. The rest of the team, there's Lauren, the marketing team. I think they brought the world of Rhode alive. It wasn't just the products, right? People can feel what the brand stood for. You can almost tell who a Rhode person was just walking down the street, how they carry themselves, what they like to do, and where they like to frequent. And so for me, it was really interesting watching that evolve in real time.
Yeah.
And again, we led with products, but I think there was so much more behind it. And I will always say the team is the driving force.
Right. First, it's the beauty market, and second, you're an Indian American. Both put together, I mean, how different was this kind of a career, or it has been? And with your roots back in India, your parents really shifted in 70s, migrated into the US. So what has been the journey like? Because we have been seeing a lot of Indian Americans now getting very successful in the US.
I mean, my father came to this country, again, in the 70s, worked really hard. He's an orthopedic surgeon. He kind of set an example of hard work. Nothing was given, it's all earned, right? And so the one thing I did see with them is they were struggling so hard to assimilate here. They had to learn the language, the culture. So it was hard for them to do anything outside of medicine. I also take care of us. But with our generation, we were given a little bit of a step stool, and we had to take advantage of that. And so we had to educate ourselves more broadly. And so for me, I started multiple companies. I've started a pharma tech company. I've gone into so many different verticals, skincare. We've dabbled into now restaurants and things like that. For me, it's just another part of my brain. I will always say I'm a doctor first. I care for the humans that come into my office every day, including, I think in an hour and a half, I have surgery starting. But, for me, it's beautiful to be able to really pursue your passions outside of your normal day to day. And I think that's what gives us balance. You want to make sure you enjoy every day and you get to do the things you want to do. And I think that's what we've been lucky enough to do so far.
Now, how difficult or easy is it, Dhaval, for somebody of your age with backing of a few decades of experience, and then also investing and also founding companies and entrepreneurship all put together? How easy or difficult is it to navigate the terrain there?
I mean, just like anybody else, you have to immerse yourself in all of it. You can't just be satisfied in what you do day to day. I like to read a lot, so I read about everything. I read globally, right? So I learn about the Indian, markets. I learn about European markets. I try to understand our skincare brands are global, right? So I have to understand different trends everywhere. And I think, whether it's entrepreneurship, you don't have to know every single detail or every single thing. You have to surround yourself with brilliant people. My pharma tech companies, we have such incredible humans that help guide me on certain things that I'm maybe not as familiar with. And so, I think it is important to be well-rounded because, again, the world is getting smaller, as they say, right? And you need to understand and educate yourself as much as humanly possible, but it's necessary. I mean, the sky is truly the limit. I think that's one of the beautiful things that we've seen now, that, you can be on a laptop or on your phone and build, mega brands, and it's not as crazy as it used to be to hear that.
Yeah, but with the kind of politics now in the US, are things about to change? Is that a worry for Indians, for migrants?
I mean, it's tough, right? I feel like everything goes up and down. Things change, policies change. It'll always be ebbs and flows of life, as they say. I think, globally with some of the stuff going on, actually, India might be I know personally we're looking at more India manufacturing and things like that, just given the consistency that's there. So, I'm hopeful. I'm obviously the son of an immigrant. I advocate for my culture and for my people, and I will always be immigrant first. But I'm just hoping with a lot of this stuff, it is a little bit scary and uncertain. But my hope is that a lot of it's just politics and, God's will, that everything works its way out.
That's right. But besides the skincare business, You have your skin in the game in various other sectors as well as an investor. Tell us more about those.
Yeah, I mean, I've been fortunate with a few of our projects, and what I decided a long time ago is outside of medicine, I kept thinking about the kid in me and all the things I wanted to do. So we looked at hospitality, we looked at clothing brands, all these different things that I was like, oh, it'd be fun to do it one day. Even some sporting ventures. Not athletic enough maybe to be a professional athlete, but maybe we invest in a few and we get to go that route. So, for me, it's just fun. It's a different part of my brain. I've never been keen to really focus on my doctoring as a business the way that most people traditionally do. So I've been lucky enough to build other things outside of medicine to help kind of distract that part of me and allow me to just to be a doctor. Because when I'm in the office, my job is to care for the humans that are in there, to service them. We're a service-oriented job. So I try to separate those two things. But outside of my office, I like to do things that just, again, make me feel like a kid again.
Well, talk about your roots back in India. Do you come to Baroda, where your parents hailed from? You have relatives here. And what do you feel when you come back to India? Do you feel that the difference is too huge when we talk about the cultural difference?
So I actually just got back from India about a week ago. I took my parents to the Char Dham. We did a retreat with them. That's actually where I was when we found out the news. My family's from Baroda, Nadiad, or Kutchi. So we have a lot of travel when we get there. Now a lot of my family's in Bombay. But it's beautiful. For me, it's just a remembrance of where I come from, my roots, my culture. I get to see my family. I get to eat the food. But it's nice. India's shifted so much in the last decade or so. It's really come a long way. And, I'm hopeful that it's continuing to become a global powerhouse. Whenever I come there, I love to immerse myself in everything that's going on. Again, everything from the food to the fashion to the science to the everything in between. It's evolving so quickly and it's inspiring to see.
All right. And any exciting projects you're looking at going forward that you want to leave us with?
I'm very encouraged by what's coming to the beauty market, the skincare market, and I love to see the globalization of India. So I'm hoping to see more of it over here. I'll be championing it the best I can.
All right, Dhaval, it's a pleasure speaking to you, and brilliant deal. You made a fat check out of that as well as one of the equity holders. So congratulations and thanks so much for joining us here. Always a pleasure to have you on our platform.
Thank you so much. It's an honor. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you.